Alright guys, last year we did a great job in pumping out an actually functional game. Let's give ourselves a nice pat on the back. Don't we always do that? Yeah, but it's gonna get harder to do in the future. Just you wait, alright? What? Nothing! Anyway, how are the fans reacting? Oh, amazing, sir. We're seeing fan content all over the internet. Come on, let me see that lovely fan art those kids be making. My son showed me a few. They were pretty traumatizing, not gonna lie, but I'm remaining open-minded. Nice, that's amazing. Nice. Alright, gonna pretend I didn't see that. Nice. Oh, this is good. Sonic with a sword. Sonic with a sword. Write that down. Alright guys, we're pretty down on our luck. Our games are ranging from peak to god fucking awful. I have a new idea. Sonic with a sword. This seems very familiar. No, it doesn't. You're fired. Let's get something straight here. Am I saying that Sonic X Final Fantasy indirectly led to the creation of Sonic and the Black Knight? No, not at all. Because that would be an insult towards Sonic X Final Fantasy. Welcome back. Geo here. Games are super easy to make. I mean, these big studios nowadays are spending what, $400 million just to actually shovel dog shit into our mouths, which is just a clear sign that the best games are made from your basement, on your laptop, with a YouTube tutorial right next to you reminding you how to code, because no, you did not go to college for this. And joking or not, some of the best and most important games of all time are indie games. So maybe there's truth to that statement. However, what happens when a game breaches the hearts of fans so much that the untrained, untalented mob tries to make one? Well, sometimes you get slop, and other times you get genuine works of art that probably rival the original product in quality. For an idea like that, I don't think there's a better game to segue this video for than FNAF. Literally, Five Nights at Freddy's had the most over-encumbering wave of fan games I've ever witnessed in my entire life. I mean, the 2010s were a hellish period where everyone believed they could rival Scott Cawthon's ingenious idea of a Chuck E. Cheese horror house, and if people weren't trying to overpower it, they were sure putting their own spins on it. Just to name a few ones that I think are genuinely hilarious. Five Nights at Wario's, Five Nights at Chuck E. Cheese, Five Nights at the Chum Bucket, and Five Nights at Anime. A version where all the animatronics are, quote unquote, hot and kill you by fucking you to death. These are still children. I feel like from that insane compilation, I think at least 2 games really showed the power of what a fan could accomplish. And the first one I'm going to talk about is One Night at Flumpty's, because holy shit. Not only do the first and second game both look amazing, they ooze their own character and personality that's different from FNAF. The character designs are extremely well done, as they always tatter the lines between slightly cute to unnerving and downright horrifying. The game doesn't try and do its own story. I mean, Flumpty wastes literally no time telling you that he is a nigh omnipotent egg that transcends time and space, and that he wants to kill you. You know, he's just like how I like my eggs, right to the point and ready to kill me. Perfect. This game still stands out as one of the best FNAF games, like fan games wise, ever made. And I think it's like the golden egg standard. Alright, I'll kill myself, I'm sorry. The game blew up all over YouTube when it dropped. I mean, I saw every person who ever played FNAF play this game in like almost a spiritual successor type manner. And I could be wrong in making this assumption, but when I saw this game blew up, it was just occurring to me that a game made by a fan could get just as much attention as the original game if it was quality enough or just funny. I mean, the idea of changing 5 to 1, keeping the F but making it sound dumber, and now your mascot's an egg. It's like these are very small incrementing changes that just give the game its own identity. And it keeps the same core values of the original game while putting their own spin on it, which I think is the perfect definition of what makes a fan game good. The other FNAF spinoff that I think deserves way too much attention is Five Nights at Candy's. This game really captured me as, once again, the ideas were new and original, but this time the same horrific atmosphere that FNAF was known for, this game really captured it. I think it got the closest to capturing it out of any fan game out there. And I need to mostly talk about the third one when I do this segment, because holy shit, the third game is a genuine work of art in my opinion, that I think rivals a majority of FNAF games, period. The gameplay loop is incredibly it mirrors FNAF 4 almost perfectly while still having its own original ideas implemented into it. Because, oh yeah, never mind, fuck what I was about to say. We need to talk about this. This rat deserves more bullets than any animatronic ever devised, because what the fuck is this? Like, when people say New York rat, this is what they're talking about. I'd call an exorcist on this thing. But seriously, Five Nights at Candy's had such a strong foundation that was built on FNAF's foundation. And I personally think that's the real reason the FNAF community grew to be as big as it was, because so many people were able to put their own spins on Scott Cawthon's original idea that the game's reach just extended far beyond what I think it normally would have. I mean, do you think people would have just waited calmly in between games for more content from Scott Cawthon? If there was no fan games, what would those droughts have been like? Fortunately, we will never know. So fan games are capable of not only covering up droughts in between games, but extending the reach of the community that the original game had. But let's not get it twisted. Fan games aren't limited to just games. I mean, they can be about people, shows, ideas, or in this case, entire eras of the internet. Friday Night Funkin' probably isn't what comes to mind when you traditionally think fan game, as it functions more as a love letter to Newgrounds than a parody of any of the games. But when I watch it get played, I can't help but think that this game's life and soul is purely fan-driven. Everything from the nature of the game, the character designs, the inclusion of famous Newgrounds characters, it all breathes as a sort of expression of someone's love to this thing that they grew up on. And at its core, that's just what a fan game is. It's not just about being a parody of a game. It's about being an expression of a fan's love for something in a video game format. When a YouTuber gets a game, they're probably more motivated than ever to create content. When creators of a game see fan games, they probably feel more inspired to continue to deliver to their fan base. Because it's not just about the game. It's about the love behind the game. It's essentially showing the person that made the stuff, hey, I appreciate this thing that you did. So much so that it inspired me to make my own crummy version of it. And sometimes those crummy versions aren't crummy at all. Sometimes they're the most obnoxious rhythm game you've ever seen in your life. My first ever experience with a fan game came in the form of Sonic X Final Fantasy VI. Yes, the sixth one specifically, I skipped all the way halfway through. Actually, no, I think I skipped like the latest episode. Moving on. And an entry in a series of games created by the one, the only BLACKDEVILX. And these were legendary. As a kid, I couldn't believe that a person who just loved Sonic enough wrote, animated, and got voices for what was essentially an entirely new experience. Because listen, I was a stupid kid, but I knew this wasn't made by Sega. There was no way in hell. Including completely original characters and using sprites from games that I didn't even recognize at the time just made it even more compelling. Like, this was my first time seeing Mega Man characters, It was my first time seeing the Buster Sword. I didn't even know what a Cloud or a Final Fantasy was. I just saw the X and thought, well, I hope they're mixing it with something cool. It was an experience a younger me will cherish until I'm dead. And I can only offer condolences to the family of the creator who passed away last year. He made the childhoods of many and combined two completely different communities. That's powerful, and it should be applauded. For anybody who wants to make fan games still, you have the ability to not only put out something that the community will enjoy, but if you do something like this, you're only just extending the reach of your favorite thing more. I'm not saying you have to always do crossovers, or hell, they don't always need to be good. But when people see how much people love a certain thing, that just makes them want to go try it. And if they hate it, fuck them. Nowadays, due to the erasure of Flash, finding fan games isn't as easy as it used to be. There aren't that many that pop up in my feed nowadays that used to, and that's really sad in my opinion. However, I'm not going to just go out there and say it's a dying art form just because I haven't been looking hard enough. If you know any good fan games for your favorite series, put them down in the comments for me. I'd love to maybe check them out. You know, if they're actually legit, shit, I don't review games, but I'll try it anyway. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more content coming from yours truly in the future. And hey, if there are any creators out there that made your favorite fan game, reach out to them and give them a big fat thank you. Until then, it's been Gio. Roll the credits.